Good morning, retail traders. I'm Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I'm going to go over the four indices that we have that we're going to be watching today, just kind of give some kind of idea where the market's going. And let's get right to it. So this is how I have it set up. I have my IWM here on the 20-day 1 hour. I have the QQQ. I have the SPY, and I have the SPX. So basically, I'm feeling like the market's bearish, and the perspective now is more or less sell the rips and buy the dips. Just sell the rip because you might get a lower dip, where we just buy the dip and hold on and try to swing them to the upside. But I think it's kind of changed a little bit, and the fat cats are talking very bearish. Kind of wait and see kind of attitude, and I like catching knives, so we're going to go right to the charts. So I have that kind of feeling right now. I'm just going to take it day by day, and if we get a good little dip and the pattern shows up, I'm going to be interested in the trade. We have a lot of falling wedges right now. Everything almost pulled back into a falling wedge. Here, I'll just draw one up for you real fast. Get the trend line here going. So these are all like falling wedges. Here's the SPY. We got three black crows right there. And these are falling wedges. So that's kind of a strong support just in case they want to turn around. But we're going to take this now to the weekly time frame. Excuse me. Got a little sneeze coming up. I like to go straight to the weekly. We're going to clean this up. First, I'm going to show you what kind of moving averages that I use when I'm trading. These are my moving averages, so if you want to follow my charting, you can write these down. We have the 21 EMA, which is in a white. We have the 63 EMA, which is in a red. We have a simple moving average right here, the 200, which is in a gold. We have the 9 EMA, which is in a blue. We have the 200 EMA, which is in a dotted yellow line. And we have the simple moving average of the 50 SMA in a green. So once you get them all down, just hit apply. And there you go. So this is the weekly time frame. We've pulled back to the 50 right here. As of right now, we've dropped below the 21 and the 9 EMAs. And we're landed right here off the 50. Now, if you noticed before, we were landing off the 200 SMA right in here when we had that lower support. And then our next goal is to try to see if we don't hold the 50, we have a double bottom right here. If we don't hold that double bottom, we're going to put a line right across there, price line. I'll try to get it off that wick if I can. And that runs up right into the 63 EMA. So that's like a solid support. And we closed at the 50, where that body of that candle is. So our resistance today, we just move it on up to this next body right here. And that's going to be our resistance to break today on the IWM, 217.60. And we need to hold the 63 EMA. If we can do that, we're fine. If not, we'll pull on back and have a bigger sell-off to 200. And that's on the IWM. That's the 200 SMA. So I want to put a price line right there on that 200, just right on it. Whoop. Right around $220, 220 cents. Right at $200. and that lands right on $221. So that'll be your lowest possible support. We'll take that IWM now. We've got our resistance level. We've got our pivot point, which is be off the 63, and we're holding the 50 SMA. So as long as we hold that number right there on the 50 SMA on the weekly, that's right around 215.94, we're going to be safe to run this up a couple bucks. And then your next resistance will be that 217.60. So now we're going to take this to the daily. In the daily, we broke below the 200, as you can well see. Now, usually stocks like to hold that 200. We have the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA, but we went down below it. So our next support level, and we're at that 50 right now on the weekly. So that next support's going to be right around 213. Now, to break resistance, we'd have to break the 200. So the long resistance, after we break 217.60, will be right here, right around 218 mark. And it hits that body of that candle right there, and that has a pretty equilibrium all the way across to your next resistance. And that'll be a hard resistance to break because you got the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA. So the next one we're going to look at will be the QQQ. We're getting close to support right now, is what I'm trying to say. We could have one more good dip to 213.87 on the IWM. So they got the QQQ. We're going to go to the weekly. You see here on the daily, we're at the 63. So that's a solid support. But we're going to take it to the weekly. Now on the weekly, we got the 21 EMA. And we're going to put a price line right there at the 21 EMA, right at 512.34 for the QQQ. Now we could get 3 black crows. We could get another red candle here for this week or next week, and bounce off that 21 EMA. If it doesn't hold, it's a pretty good drop down here to the 50 SMA. That's right around 484. So that's a pretty good drop. And then we got a balance act right here. We got an equilibrium of these 3 here candles on the weekly. That is a solid support right there at the body of them candles. You can see how each body, and then we had the 3 black crows that landed to hit the 50 and bounced up. Same thing could happen here. This wasn't, it's more drastic, this sell-off. But we've had 2 red days. We had a good bounce where we consolidated a little bit, but we ended up with a low, lower than the day before. So it could easily pull back to this triple top right here and be a solid support if we don't hold the 21 EMA. Now I'm going to take us to, and the resistance to break will be definitely to come up here and hit that 519.46 on the body of that candle, right under the 9. So now we're going to take this to the daily, and the daily says that we are at support. We got 2 engulfing candles, and we could get down here to this next one, but this is a solid support right now. If we can hold that, we'll run back up and try to break the 50, and then the 21, back to that daily high that we had yesterday on the body of that candle. But right now we're at a solid support. We could get a reversal to the upside, but we also could get one more red candle to the downside, and that'd be right here at that 512.34 level. So that looks pretty good right now. I'd keep an eye on it right at open, see if that holds, and run it up to that 50 SMA. SPY's next. We're going to go to the weekly. I'm going to clean this up. Same here as the weekly. Now, I talked about this yesterday in the room. You want to look at the correlation to where these bounces are occurring off of. And right now they're off of the 21. You got the 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21. So this thing could easily come back down and hit that 21 at 590.07. And if that doesn't hold, it'll be a double bottom here to 576. And resistance to break will be the top of that body of that candle, right around 602.48. Now we got the 9 EMA, the 21, the 50, the 63, the 200 EMA, and the 200 SMA. I use these as support levels and resistance levels to get in and out of a trade. We go to the daily. So we're at the 21, we're at the 63 right now. If we can hold that 63, which is probably where we closed at today, and start to move up, we could hit the 50 SMA at 599.03, 599, and then if that breaks, we could take it to 603.79, maybe a little bit lower to the body of that candle. Support holds at the 63, we're bullish. If not, we could have one more red candle to the downside and hit 590. Maybe even come back and hit this double bottom right here at 592.70. So somewhere in that vicinity. That's called a pivot point right in there. Not a pivot point, but a solid support. That little pink box. So if we hold the 63, we stay bullish and we move up to the next resistance level. If not, we pull back and fall in this here channel of support. Where that wick is, it's that wick where we got on the weekly, and then this body of this candle. So right in there, that would be your solid, right in here. You can see that body did the same thing. Yep, that's what I'm thinking. 590 to 592.70. Then we got the QQQ, the SPX. Same thing here when we do the SPX. We're going to go to the weekly. And yesterday I called this here a little support out. It's called a yin-yang with a triple bottom. And that looked real solid to me, that 5,800, if we pull back. For right now, we're going to look at the 21 EMA for support level. Right around 59.2670. If that doesn't hold, then we'll definitely drop down to this here triple bottom yin-yang. We got the yin-yang means this here resistance found support, and then it came back and found support again. So they like to repeat. And this would be the third time it's come back to that support level, and that's real solid support, right around 5,800. I would go with that, thinking if we didn't hold to 21, that we would definitely fall back and hit that and bounce back up and try to go back to the 21. So we're going to bring this to the daily. And I'm going to adjust the daily trend line to the top of the body of that candle to the bottom of that one. So that runs right almost into the 200. So that this area right in here would be a solid buy. I would love to see it pull back there and buy that and go long. I would. I'd just love for it to pull back to that 200 and bounce off that 200 and then go long. But for right now, this is going to be your solid support at 59.2621, that 21 EMA on the weekly time frame. Right now we're at the 63, and that could hold and be a solid support. So I'm going to put in a price line. Magnify it up a little bit. That's got to be our resistance to break. We broke down below it just a little bit. So 59.89.34 would be the resistance to break up to the 50 SMA. and that's the body of that candle. And I'd put it right on the body of that candle, right around 60-10-76, and then to the top of that same body of that candle. And if all three of them resistance breaks, your next one would be the 21. And that's about it. Solid support as of right now, 59.2670. And it matches up with that wick. So that's a double confirmation that that could hold. And I like that spot. If not, and we start to get really bad, this area down in here is where I'd want to buy it and go long back to the upside. And those, each one of them price line for right now, I mean, these will move as you proceed out. These here lines will start to go higher and higher, and this one will go higher a little bit, and this one will go, depends on what happens here. Right now, that's a real strong support. So I wish everybody a great trading day. I'm just kind of show you my way of looking for support and resistance levels by zooming out to the weekly and to the daily time frames. And then when I start swing trading or day trading, I'll use the 1 hour. See, the 1 hour could tell me that we could stop right here down at the bottom right there, or right in here on the 20-day. And then I'll go to the 5 minute, see what kind of candlestick patterns are we got here, like a double bottom bounce. We could open up lower, higher, whatever it is, but I know this would be a double bottom right here, and I'd count these other ones, and I'd say that would be a triple bottom or a quad if it did pull back. And then I take it to the 1 minute for my scalping, when I like to get in here and really identify the candlestick patterns and chart patterns, and then try to go from there on the 1 minute. So that's it for the Sneaky Snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in now, and be very patient. The bears are definitely in charge right now. Their worries, the tariffs, they worry about the things that I don't worry about, and I worry about the things that they don't worry about. So it's a good equilibrium to being creative and becoming a technical analysis. I'm not a fundamental trader by any means. Just as long as I have money and have a lot of volume and the price action, that's where I lie. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you in the next video, and I'm live every day. Hit that like, subscribe. If you have a comment, if you have your own idea where you think support would be, write it down in the comments section. I'd like to look at it. Have a great day.